Okay, becoming a listing machine. And it's a topic that I know very well because I was a listing machine and I started from nothing. So all of that's fresh in my head, and that's what agents want to learn. They don't want to use software, they want to learn how to become listing machines. So that's what we're going to teach you. And stay to the end. You're going to get this advanced guide to winning listings. We put this together. It's 30 plus tips on how to build incredible winning listing presentations to win every single listing lead that you have. Stay to the end. You're going to get that. And let's get started. So listen, I was an agent just like you, everyone on this call. In fact, I was the number two condo agent in San Francisco. And here's me on NASDAQ when Zillow went IPO. Zillow invited me and a bunch of others to ring the bell with them. And I built a brokerage and we grew it to a top 250 brokerage in the US and we sold it to Realogy. And you know what? We taught hundreds of agents how to win. And on this call, I hope to teach you um, some of our secrets as well. Now, let's get some historical perspective. These are the number of home sales in the US per year. And I started my business at this time, 2006. The market was hot. ARMs were hot. Anyone could buy a home and everyone was. And this is where we are today. So what you see is that our number of sales are at the lowest in 2 decades, or since 2010. So about 14, 15 years. It's probably not as low as 2010. But this is when I started my business, my brokerage around this time. And so what I'm going to tell you is very relevant to today's market. And there are very simple rules on how to win listings and be a listing machine, which I'm going to impart on you today. All right. This was my first brokerage location. This dingy live work loft in the middle of South of Market in San Francisco. What a terrible place it was and still is. There's parts of it that are nice, but this particular loft has not changed or become nicer. But what I will say is that we grew it into a fantastic brokerage business and brand. And we were so lucky to hit 250 or 242 largest brokerages in the US in just 5 years, 1 billion in volume, 110 agents. We eventually sold to Realogy with 250 agents and many more sales. And it was a very celebrated sale. NRT and Realogy were going to make Climb another brand. But I didn't want to be part of that. I like starting things and I loved helping agents. And I wanted to learn, how do I get back to that? So I didn't want to work for Realogy and work with them on launching Climb as a friend. I wanted to help agents, and that's why I started Highnote. What is Highnote? Well, it's a next generation real estate sales platform. It's digital, interactive, and AI, and there's many use cases. It was originally built for listing presentations, but there are many other use cases for Highnote. One of them is a new one is what I'm going to be talking about today. So how do you become a listing machine? Well, it's kind of, I'm going to say three things, and it's kind of obvious, right? You need regular seller leads. You need seller leads that are consistent. And number two, you need to convert every lead, or as many as you can. The more you can convert, the better, the more listings you're going to get. And the most often overlooked part of every agent's business is the repeat business. And you need repeat business. And I must say that this is probably the hardest part. for most agents to get right. And this is perfect time of year to focus on that, to develop systems, to generate repeat business. And how do you do that? Well, you have to stay in touch with your past clients. And we are all guilty of not staying in touch with past clients, all of us. The worst feeling in real estate, and correct me if I'm wrong, is when your past client lists their home with another agent. Um, right? Tell me if I'm right or wrong. Is there anything more painful than that? I don't think so. Let me know in the chat whether you think there's something even more painful, or is that the most painful thing? Losing a listing to another competitor, fine, it happens. But when you have a past client who was a buyer and they purchase their home and then they go to sell their home and they don't use you, that's got to be, for me, the most painful thing out there. And it's totally preventable. I'm not seeing anyone in the chat saying anything about this. Has anyone felt this before? Let me know. Lisa, Chris, have you felt this before? You guys are in agents. I'm not gonna proceed until we get someone in the chat saying something. Can people chat? Yeah. So Sam, yes, of course, yes. Pat, thank you, Pat. Thank you. Totally sucks. Totally sucks. And why? Well, it's hard. And we're lazy. We're busy. We're focusing on new business. We're not focusing on that client who won't be selling, what you think is anytime soon, right? And so, I got this gold nugget from this article. In the most recent survey, this is the NAR survey of buyers and sellers, 89% of buyers said they would recommend or use their agent again, as did 85% of sellers. So 89% of buyers and 85% of sellers would use their agent again. But only 12% of those buyers actually use their agent again. And same with repeat buyers, 15%. The statistics were marginally better for sellers. 27% of them use their agent again. Isn't that crazy? So there's a huge mismatch between what buyers and sellers want to do and actually what they do. And it's always 9 out of 10 times is because you're not staying in touch with them. They couldn't find you and they went with another agent who was marketing to them consistently over the years. So this is a problem. And so what you got to do, one way to tackle this is to perform annual real estate reviews. And is anyone familiar with this concept, real estate reviews? But it's basically at the end of the year, reviewing in some way their real estate purchase, their home, maybe some sort of touching base. And yeah, how many of you sent out annual real estate reviews before? I would like to know so that I can determine how fast and how quickly I should go through this content. Good, Patrick, perfect. No, but would like to start. Everyone would. Katie Walsh. Oh my God, is this the Katie Walsh in Santa Barbara and used to be in San Francisco? Please say, oh my gosh, welcome. So good to see you. All right, Lena. Okay, great. Yes, equity evaluation. Okay, so I'm going to show you an annual real estate review that my buddy Chris Lim and partner uses often. And I will show this to you right now. So this is what it looks like. This is a template that Highnote offers that will, well, this is not the template, but this is an exact example of an agent, what they do. But what they do is they update their client on what's going on in the market, right? End of summer real estate recap. What happened in the real estate market? Q4 fall market predictions, right? What are some predictions that's going to happen in the market? And then some other news that may affect real estate that he's including to his high-end clients, talking about luxury art and goods. right? He's a Christie's agent, so he has access to this information, but he's updating his clients on some information about tangential markets that may be affecting real estate. And so this is a great thing to include in here. And then he goes off to talk about the record home sales in 2024, how Steve Jobs, uh, probably wife or daughter, I don't know who Laureen Powell Jobs is, but she sold her home for 70 million at 2840 Broadway, most expensive sale ever. And then the most expensive condo sold as well at 2288 Broadway, number 8, $16 million, 4,500 per square foot in Pacific Heights. Then other news, new legislation and laws impacting the real estate industry. The NAR settlement. Everyone knows about this and read about it. So he's updating them what that is. In San Francisco, there's a lot of these ballot propositions where the voters can vote on certain things. This is a proposition talking about property owner rights and investments, and it's Prop 33. So he included a link to that. And then laws on your real estate investment. Um, Renters in California will no longer be asked for a security deposit larger than 1 month's rent. Great information. And then three other things in here. And then he starts talking about his most recent sales. He sold an island, Red Rock Island, for 25 million. It was listed for 25 million, and it's in contract and it's going to close. And then other sales, other projects that he's involved in. And then he starts updating them about Christie's. Christie's, the brokerage in San Francisco, his billboard campaign, a new office, a new website, and then talking about Christie. So this is a really nice update. It's an update touching base about, again, news, about more news about the real estate market, news about the real estate industry that affects agents, affects landlords, and his information, his sales, his latest marketing, his latest developments, and it's a great way to stay in touch right now. So this is a perfect example of this. Now, I'm going to show you, we created a template and it's available to everyone on this call. And why can't I open this? Let's see here. Okay, I'll just show this. And so we created one, and we've had one, but I created a new one, and it's really it's similar, but you have to change as little things as possible. So um, really highlighting, hey, the value of reviewing your real estate. It's always a good idea to review what's going on in the market, and it makes sense to hold the property or not. Sometimes you're living in the home and you have children, so you're not selling anytime soon, but sometimes you have it as a rental. And and very often homeowners are wondering, should they hold on to it? Should they consider renting? But not enough to contact the agent at that time. So you're reaching out. And here are examples of things you could put in. We are including local neighborhood stats. So South Beach is a market that I focused in, and Katie Walsh, she's on the call here. She helped me. She was on the other side of many deals as we focus on new construction, and she was in a new construction office and helped. We became good friends after that. So, but I talk about South Beach, and that's where a lot of the new construction in San Francisco happened. So I include a link to that. And this could be simply a link to Realtor.com's South Beach neighborhood statistics. It could be anything. If you have your own market reports, you can insert them here. But I like to just use what's out there on the internet. And then I also include a link to Redfin, right? Home pricing trends in San Francisco. In the past, since August, the prices have gone up quite a bit. Market's recovering. People like to see that. So in San Francisco, that's what's happening. Now, you may not want to put a link to Redfin. I totally understand, but I'm not particularly afraid that they're going to be going to using a Redfin agent. So I have no problem doing that. And then you should insert a national market report. So the national real estate market, Zillow has great reports about this, and of course, you may not want to send them to Zillow, but I have no problem sending them there. But you could put in whatever you would like, right? So I put in three: Realtor.com, Redfin, and Zillow, and then predictions for the new year. There's a Zillow report here for 2025, as well as Business Insider 2025 market. Again, you could put anything you want, but we included this here. So I'm going to be sending this out, and then let's catch up, right? Scheduling your review. Let's schedule a time to talk. And you just never know, right? These people, these clients, they may be thinking about selling, or they're thinking about selling next year, or they're wondering whether they should sell in 2 years, whatever it may be. But you are reminding them, hey, don't forget about me. I was your buyer agent. I was your buyer. Don't forget about me, and I'm a resource here for you. You're just checking in with them. And guess what? Everyone's slow. Don't pretend you're doing a lot of business right now, December 11th. So this is a perfect time to just get one together and send them out, touch base with all of your clients. And do this every year. If you do this every year, one of these are going to hit and more are going to hit as new listings. And that's quite frankly one of the best ways to grow your business and become a listing machine in today. So we have this template available. We're going to send this out to everyone. And it's a great way to just prompt them to reach out to you. Now, as I talked to you earlier, there were three ways to become a listing machine. One, get seller leads. Two, convert seller leads. And three, repeat business. So I'm going to talk about don't buy more leads. You need to convert more. So many agents that I see all around the country have a really poor presentation. And I want to give you sort of a high level view first as to why you need to focus on your presentation. Okay. Winning listings is like a classic sales funnel. And if you're not familiar with a sales funnel, this is what it looks like. There's a top, middle, and bottom. Top is where you're making your first touch with buyers and sellers out there, and the awareness of who you are. Middle is capturing these leads, capturing the buyers and sellers, and then nurturing them. And then the bottom is when you get a buyer who wants to work with you or a seller who wants to work with you. But how do you convert that lead into a customer? And this is where your listing appointment is how you convert that lead into a customer. When we were just starting out, we were this little funnel. We weren't the top agents, and we weren't around for decades. We were not the most experienced. There were a lot of agents who had tons of experience and have been around longer than I've been alive when we started doing real estate. So, and our brokerage hadn't been around for a century, right? So we had a new brokerage. It was called Climb, and the thing was brand new, 1, 2, 3 years at the most. But we were new, and the way we looked at it, we were always at this disadvantage. There was always smarter agents than us, more experienced agents than us at bigger and larger brokerages and older brokerages. But what we decided was to make our listing conversions the best in the industry, and we figured out how. And why? Because we had fewer leads. So if you wanted to do as much business as the top dogs and the top brokerage owners, the top agents in the city, you needed to convert more than they did. And it's the simplest way to grow your business is really increase your close rate. And that comes from changing your attitude, quite frankly. And, not leave anything to chance. And what we learned was the presentation itself is the way you win. And the only way you can actually increase your close rate, because once you get that lead, there's nothing you can do to increase your sales, increase your experience, or change the brokerage you're at, or anything. The only thing you could do is present better, right? So, you know, if you upgrade your presentations, whether they're digital, whether they're physical, you will win more. And this is a fact. Imagine just going in and not having any presentation at all, right? Versus someone who maybe sends something incredible before the meeting, sends something incredible, has something incredible during the meeting, and then follows up with something incredible after the meeting. The presentation is the only thing you can change at that moment. And we are evidence of that. That's why I started Highnote. And now, what makes a great presentation? Well, it's got to be gorgeous. It's got to be visual. You're a real estate agent. That means you're a salesperson, but you're also a marketing person. So you need to make this thing look gorgeous and has to be nice and visual. Nobody reads the text. So it's got to hit their emotions. And the only way you can hit their emotions is having gorgeous visual stuff. It also has to be informative. It can't be just full of bullshit, right? It has to make sense. And it has to be like, correct, super informative in how you sell a home, how you get the best price, how are you the best agent in the market. And it's got to be on brand, right? Um, and then the last thing, it's got to be highly personalized, right? No one wants to receive a presentation that's meant for anyone. So you need to do that. Now, when you do that, what we found was that our agents were, one, more professional. They built trust faster because they impressed the client or lead with these great professional presentations, and they stood out. And guess what? When you do all those things, you're professional, you build trust faster, and you stand out, you win, right? And that's how we grew so fast. The adage we like to use is great presentations made good agents great and great agents the best. I was a good agent, but I became great because of my presentation. And I was the number 2 condo agent in San Francisco. So, all right. The other thing you can do is upgrade how you close the appointment. And there's a 2-step method that my partner came up with, Chris Lim, and he's currently, or he was the president of Christie's International. And what he does is he sends one before and he sends one after. And the one before is about establishing credibility, and the one after is about following up. And so this is what a pre-listing would look like. And the idea around a pre-listing is to introduce yourself, but to wow them, to blow away the competition with something that is so different and unique that they cannot ignore you. Let me see if I can share this computer sound.
I guess it's whatever one I'm in. My favorite vacation spot is anywhere I can ski. My favorite restaurant is Zoom.
It doesn't have to be a professional video, but include one, right? It's a great way to pre-sell the seller before meeting them. And then when you do meet them, they're going to feel like, if they watch this video, they're going to feel like they know you. And that goes a long way at winning more listings. He talks about the team. He talks about his brokerage, why his brokerage, his sales, his comps, why we know that your area, a marketing timeline, an offer acceptance timeline. So this is the informative piece, right? Being informative. Maybe something about the tax records of the home And the reason why you want to do this is you want to show that you've done a little bit of due diligence on their property before meeting. Um, and that's one reason. The other reason is you want to see who the legal owners are so that you make sure you're talking to them. And then the value of the home. Well, wait a minute. I'm not going to give you the value of the home before I see the home, right? You're not going to give them your phone number on the first, before on your first meeting, right? So you're not going to give the value of the home before seeing the home and meeting them. So um, how can you give a good value of the home? And very often, people do this a lot, and I know a lot of you agents probably have as well. When you send comps before seeing the home or meeting the seller, how many times has that happened that you sent comps that were too low, right? And once you send comps that are too low or below the seller's expectations, you've shot yourself in the foot and you've made sure that you're probably not going to win that listing. So don't send comps before meeting. Find out what they think the property is worth and also look at the home. I can't tell you how many times I sent comps before meeting thinking they knew, oh yeah, I know what this home is worth, $2 million, and I'm off by $200,000. Or I heard another agent say higher, right? So you need to be careful and do not send comps ahead of time. Okay, then you talk about NAR commission lawsuit, right? What's it all about? We have this all free with our templates. Changes for sellers, changes for buyers. Sample listing agreement. You want to send something ahead of time. Why? That's a presumptive close. And in sales, a presumptive close is demonstrating strength. It shows that you are ready to sign this thing and you are going to be showing up, making sure you get your signature to sign this to start selling the home. And why do you send it like this inside of a Highnote presentation? Because you can see whether they're reading it or not. Our presentations give you and deliver to you analytics that show you exactly everything your seller is reading, how long, and when. And then you want to show your testimonials and then why you again. So this presentation tells a story. It starts off with you as an agent. It builds up to why you as an agent, why you as a brokerage, your expertise, how the sale happens. Then it starts talking about the seller and their home, and then the NAR lawsuit, how you work together, your testimonials, and then you again. It tells a story, right? So this is the great intro. This is the best pre-listing presentation, hands down, in the country. I will defy anyone to find me a better one. But this is the best one. And when agents use this nationwide, when we sell this to them and they buy it, they report back that it wins them listings, sometimes even before showing up. So don't be lazy. Send something. Send something. But if you're going to send something before the meeting, make sure it's great, right? Don't send something half-assed. Okay. And then there's a follow-up one after that. And the follow-up one is any questions about the pre-listing before I move on to the follow-up listing? Does this make sense? How many people do pre-listings now? I want to see in the chat, please. Good. Awesome. Awesome. Is it good? Is the pre-listing good, or is it just average, or is it the best you can do? Very good. Awesome. Not as good as that. Got it. You can do better. Perfect. Linda's here. Linda Granger. Cool. Yes. Mine's good, but could be better. Awesome. Yeah, we'll send everything after this. I'll send the slides as well if you like it. Need to do better. Perfect. So, yeah, we will. And it's available as a template as well. So we'll send that over. Okay, now you met, right? And let me just go over this. I'll go to the follow-up in a second. But here are the consequences of not having a good presentation. And this, you see this template, and I'm sorry for this, making fun of this woman's template, but this is a real presentation that I saw available for sale or somewhere. And well, one, lost listings and clients, right? Reduced client trust and confidence, lower commission potential, reduced referral opportunities, limited differentiation in a competitive market, poor client retention and repeat business, and difficulty competing against tech-savvy agents. You could have all of these are all negatives of not having a good presentation. There is no excuse to having a bad presentation in today's day and age, and with our product as well, and this template available for free. No excuse. And these could be all of the out. You could lose a listing, and you will. It's not like you could. You will lose a listing. Tens of thousands of dollars in commissions and repeat business. Give me a break, right? So high note. It's a totally new way to win appointments. No design is needed. Just drag and drop materials. Build in minutes, not hours, days. Beautiful. It stands out, and it's 21st century. You're letting sellers know you're on top of tech, right? It's online, it's dynamic, there's links to web videos. It's not just a static email and PDFs, and it's easy enough for an agent to use, easy enough for a brokerage to manage, and it's easy to personalize. Plus, you get reader analytics, crucial information to closing buyers and seller leads. We tell you what the readers are reading. All right, so let me see here. I'm looking for a slide that okay, let's talk about the appointment. This is what I want to show. So this is how the appointment works, right? The lead finds you, there's an initial email or phone call, in-person meeting, follow-up, and the close. So Shauna has a question here. Do you have physical listing presentations in addition to the pre and post? I bring something usually because I don't like presenting in front of a computer and making people look and huddle around my computer. And so I typically bring something. And by the way, we're also offering a physical template as well. It's a new service that we're going to be introducing the coming year where, okay, you want a physical one, a PDF, we have those as well. And we can sell those to you or help build those for you. All right, but let's get back to this. We'll talk more about that in a second. So listen, I already talked about the pre-listing presentation. You send something before the meeting. And again, why do you do this? To introduce yourself before the meeting, right? You're breaking up your sales appointment. Number one. Number two, other agents are not sending things usually, right? And you don't want to be that agent who's not sending something, right? Especially if they are. If they are sending something, you want to send something and you want to make sure it's great. You play to win, not to lose. And the way you lose is by sending something shitty. All right. And then there's a follow-up. You want to now follow up after your appointment. And again, with something great, not something shitty. So make sure you step up your game and send something great. And so what we're going to talk about is the follow-up presentation. This is a great follow-up presentation, right? Now, Chris does it this way, and you can do it any way you want. But what he does is he breaks it up in terms of walkthrough observations. We spend a lot of time looking at it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and then has some immediate recommendations, strategy, right? Target demographic. Who's the likely buyer for this home? Timing, right? You're not going to list a property now, but maybe February. That would probably be the best time in San Francisco. And then your price opinion. What do you think the home will sell for? And then so you have to do several things. You have to get comps from multiple angles. The neighborhood sales, maybe historic neighborhood sales, maybe recent sales, obviously, and then pick out some comps of the recent sales that are most relevant. And then break out your comps so that it's really clear to the reader how your analysis goes. Another one is a baseline comp. Like this is like the lowest sale that or sale price based on recent sales that your home probably could sell for. And then what's the value of the home? Come up with an analysis, right, in this way. Now you could put any sort of comping system in here. You could put a cloud CMA. Some people like to use Moxie Present. Some people like to use MLS. You could stick them all in here. And then you want to address the online property values, right? What does Zillow say? Because that's where they're going to look probably before you even show up. And then, so you want to address those and then tell them how right they are or wrong they are. Dangers of overpricing, right? We have this as a template. Be careful of overpricing your home. And it's that there's a great temptation to want to ask more for your home, but let's tell you why it's a mistake. Next steps, sales and marketing calendar. Importance of disclosure. This is a template we also have. It's not with our brokerage name. And then importance of disclosure, right? Reasons why your home isn't selling. And so really prepping them as to common pitfalls of what happens to homes that don't sell. Number one, it's overpriced. Number two, the listing marketing is terrible or it's poor quality. Seller presence at showings. The seller decides to stay there during the open houses. Um, emotional attachments, lack of cleaning, an unstaged home, personal decor, leaving your stuff in there, overly personalized improvements, cluttered space, etc. This is a template that we have. And then summary of my recommendations, sample listing agreement again. And this time you want to maybe include a filled out one to send in and then reassure them this is my team, here's my testimonials, and why me again. So this is a great follow-up and the way you should be following up to be winning every single listing appointment. And again, these things are we have them available. We have templates we could also build for you as well, and I'll get to that in a second. All right, break up the sales appointments into thirds. That's why you do it this way. You send a pre, you have an in-person, and then you have a follow-up. You do this, I'm going to guarantee you're going to win listings or your money back. So listen, we're going to talk about how we can build this for you if you don't have it already. It's a done-for-you system where we could build you the pre and the follow-up. And it's a proven method that I've used personally, and I still do. We also have buyer ones as well, pre-buyer and a follow-up buyer one. We're not going to talk about these today, maybe a future session. But when you have a lead, you have to give it your best shot. Don't you agree? There's so much on the line. Even for an average sale price of $350,000, that's almost $10,000 that you're going to risk at not sending a great presentation. Doesn't make any sense to me. You don't want to miss any opportunity. Go big or go home. Football is a game of inches, right? Don't leave anything to chance. That's the attitude you need to have if you want to be a listing machine. Listing leads are hard to come by. You cannot risk it. You have to win it. And again, close with the perfect follow-up presentations. Don't just send one, send two. Guess how many your competition is sending, right? They're probably not sending a great follow-up like this, and you have nothing to lose except tens of thousands of dollars, right? So, but what do you send? It's a problem. Well, we make it easy for you, right? Highnote has you covered. But most agents, what they do is they struggle with it. They try to build their own templates and they end up not doing anything. They'll send an email with a poor CMA package. And this is what usually happens is what you send an email full of links and PDFs. It's terrible. The readers hate it. Stop sending it, right? Send something modern. Send something in the 21st century. And the typical mistakes agents make with these presentations is one, information's outdated. You don't include your latest sales. It's off brand. You don't have the latest testimonials in there. It's too long, too hard to read. How many times have you sent a 40-page PDF? Guess what? They're not reading that, right? You need to break it up. You need to make it easier to read. And the other reason, the other mistakes that agents make or that other agents have better ones. So you need to come with the best ones. And so we have you covered, right? We are a game changer. Rare 5-star review by Inman. And we were finalists for most innovative real estate technology, and we were invested in by NAR and part of their 2023 class with Reach. And our users say it just wins deals. We enhance your entire sales pitching process by packaging and delivering everything into a single, beautiful, and trackable presentation, as demonstrated just a second ago. It's the only real tool that set me apart. It's a godsend, one of the best tools in the industry today. So many testimonials and brokerages with us. Now, this is what it costs for a package. This is a done for you buyer package, but there's a listing package. It's the same thing. Let me see if I can get to that. Hold on one second. Yeah, this was for the buyer presentation, but it's the same thing. It's two buyer presentations, two listing presentations, the pre-meeting and then the follow-up listing presentation. We could build that for you if you 20% off today. It's $798.40. It includes Highnote subscription for 1 year. If you're already a Highnote customer and you just want the templates and then you just want to do them yourself, templates are free, right? You're already a Highnote customer, you already pay for Highnote, fantastic. Templates are free. If you can't find them, just ask in the chat below in the right, how do I get the pre-listing and the follow-up listing templates? You'll get those, And but if you want us to build for you, there's a lot of agents that have the templates, but they don't have time to build them. Totally understandable. So we offer this service to help you agents who don't have time to build them. What we do is we'll schedule a call with you to get all the information, from your brokerage about you, about your testimonials, your sales, etc. And then we'll build them for you. When we build them for you, we guarantee the results. Okay, we guarantee that you're going to win a listing or your money back. And so here's what the service provides: one-on-one meeting, fast turnaround, 2 to 3 days, depending on when you get us the stuff, and multiple template styles, unlimited edits with our team. We also can modify your PDFs, but that's an extra cost, and that we bid that out for you, but it's an hourly cost for modifying your PDFs and updating your PDFs. We also give you a full Highnote tutorial, so you don't have to keep calling us and asking us to fix things. It's really easy to change and easy to set up. All right. I'm going to skip this part, but testimonials for done for you. Very happy with the service and support. They created a superb home buyers presentation, professional, creative, and responsive throughout the entire process. Pre-listing. The pre-listing presentation I received from Highnote's Done For You package was a game changer. Sets the right expectations with clients and creates a more memorable first impression. Highly recommended from Joanne of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. All right. Okay, I think I'm going to pause here for a second. This is just a repeat of the stuff. Any questions? I saw a lot of things going on in the chat. I was just assuming that my team was following up here. But if you want to get started, go to get.highnote.io. 20% off today. It's $998 for the 2 presentations and Highnote for 1 year. 20% off, you get $798.40. I am going to leave it open for questions. Questions, any questions? Was this helpful? What other topics can you walk through how long the done for you takes? Well, once we get the information, 2 days turnaround. And then what happens is we turn it around, and then usually it's a draft and there will be feedback and you would want things changed. But the fastest it could be is 2 days. In 2 days, you get us all your stuff. 2 days, you get something back. But in reality, there's going to be some back and forth. You're not going to get us all your stuff right in time. And then all the things we're going to do for you, you're going to want changes. So the fastest could be 2 days. The longest could be, I don't know how long, right? Depending on how picky you're going to be and how many changes you're going to want. Lisa, instead of saying resources gallery, actually give them the link. That'd be really helpful. And you're sending it to me, not, are you messaging everyone? No, you're messaging me, Lisa. Message everyone. Yes. So Paul, Pat, if you'd like to get help, you can inside of Highnote, you can ask for done for you service in your account. Just go to the account and then add it, or chat with someone. They could add it for you. Can I get the videos of my team? Absolutely, Linda. And I can do a separate webinar for your team. I know your team well. Um, I'm part of, I hang my license with Christy Serino, so I see you quite often, and it's good to see you here. But I can do a separate meeting with you and your team so that it's tailored to your brokerage, Linda. Okay. Any questions? Customized photos to you? Yes, absolutely, Linda. That's what the customization is. And we also show you, thanks, Lisa, Linda. We also show you how to make tweaks if you need to. All right, cool. Anything else, guys? I think the next topic will probably be a buyer presentation and pre-listing presentation again, just to remind people to get ready for the new year. You got to set up your presentations now, or at least in January, because you know why? Sellers will be asking to sell their homes soon because they want to get it ready for the spring. So don't get caught flat-footed. Work on your listing presentations and your presentations now because you're not going to have time later. And then what's going to happen again is you're going to send something shitty again. And then you're, guess what? You're going to lose a listing and you're going to wish you had set up your presentation ahead of time. These presentations take time to set up, and doing it right is critical to becoming a listing machine uh, in 2025. And don't forget, also take this time to follow up with your past buyers and your past sellers. Send an annual real estate review to your buyers who are now homeowners. Sellers, just say hello, right? If they're selling and they move somewhere else, say hello because they still stay in touch with their neighbors and their people back home. Don't ignore them either. All right. I think we're going to wrap up. If there aren't any further questions, we're going to wrap up. Thank you, everyone. Oh, Lena, you want the physical presentation? Absolutely. Reach out to us. We'll show you the templates that we just developed. Um, so if you're interested in the physical ones, just email me. We'll show you what we have, and those are sellable. We haven't set a price yet, but it's gonna be pretty inexpensive. They're editable in Canva, or we have a design service that can help set them up for you. And yeah, for those that want a traditional presentation, just a PDF, totally get it. We have templates, and we're going to have many more coming. It's going to be part of our strategy and service for the new year, giving traditional presentation templates for those that want them. And they're going to be for sale pretty inexpensively, 25 bucks or something like this. And then we give you an editable Canva link that you can use to make edits on your own, or you could hire us to do it. So if you're interested in that, email me as well. But we just finished some templates, so we'll send those out, and we're going to be having 10 different styles or something. So, all right. Joe, nice to see you. Thank you. Good to see you. And good to see you the other day in NAR. Um, and okay, good. All right, guys, thank you very much. Good to see everyone. We'll be in touch, and for come tune in for the next one. We have these masterminds once a month. Okay, bye everyone. Happy holidays.